So we are on the total potential once again, and just from pure coincidence, going on YouTube Live between different interviews, having a little bit of technical difficulties this morning, but Donnie popped up in the comments, and
Gang.
this I think is just the way that I'm going to start doing it. That starting to schedule these has become pretty tough. That the interest is high, and if you have enjoyed the podcast, certainly subscribe and check out all of my links as well as Donnie's down in the description. So, if you would go ahead and introduce yourself, please.
Excuse me. Smoking on some,
Yeah, he's out in Cali.
you know what I mean? So, how, you know what I'm saying? ST7 Donny, for everyone who doesn't know, ST7 Donny, ST7 Donny, ST7 Gang. My Instagram is Donny700S to get that out the way right now.
Yeah, and I want to
Yeah.
give a big shout out to Go Metro for
Yeah, shout out
connecting
my
us.
bro.
Donnie
Shout
was
out
the
my
last
brother.
guy that just barely missed the boat on round 1 of the podcast, but
Yeah.
now, we're coming on to round 2, bringing in the video
It's more
element.
organic. Yeah, it's more organic. Just like
It's
yesterday.
clean, that it's coming
Yeah.
together, and I'm a man of my word. I've probably got about 200 people after you, right? And
Yeah.
I'm glad that I was definitely be able to get you, and it's great. So, um, one of the big questions I have for you is, what's the story that you met Go Metro? So, to kind of give Go Metro a little bit of a shout out.
Um. So prior to doing all this music and shit, coming from Miami, I had went to the military because I was a high school athlete, high school star wrestler at my school and shit. But I ended up not doing nothing with it. I ended up going to the military because some bullshit. I had gotten lots of trouble and shit in Miami. So, but came out here to San Diego. Fast forward a couple years, and I met Go Metro. I met him because on the boat we was on, which is the Boxer, which is just a floating prison, bro. I swear that shit sucks. He was there, but he was working as a cook,
Oh wow.
right? So him working as a cook, and
It's good to
what
have
we
good friends that are the cooks, right? Because they'll
yeah,
hook you up.
exactly. But he was working as a cook, but like his initial job in the in the military was an
Yeah.
AO, which is the person that deals with the guns and the
Sure,
bombs and the
sure. Well,
missiles.
let's
Yeah.
first, before we get into that, what I'd like to know is the most important question on everybody's mind. What is for breakfast? What, like, obviously when they show a lot of footage, they probably show the best sides of it, but what is, a Thursday morning, everybody's pissed off, like, what are you
Yeah.
getting? What can you
Oh
expect,
man.
right? Like, what was
It
Go
de-
Metro
it
frying up?
depends. It depends because it really depends because you got the early birds that want to wake up early and are real motivated to go to the gym and then go
So
get
what time is
breakfast.
early bird for military?
4, honestly. 4, I'll say. Because the military, bro, I'm going to tell you straight up. I'm going to be straight up right here on your podcast, bro. The military is a joke, man. Let me not say the military.
Yeah.
The Navy, I will tell you that, man, it's just like high school, bro. It's like high school.
Yeah.
It's a lot like
Well,
high
and
school.
that's that realness, with the Total Potential podcast, where we want to see the total potential, right? That
Yeah.
hearing that means that there's more potential to be had, right? That I don't have any military background exactly, uh, having back issues myself. But I definitely see it from like an economical standpoint, different friends. It's almost like a different sort of fraternity, right? It's like a
Yeah.
more it's like a more more deadly fraternity where there's a lot of guys. As long as you are nice, I'm sure you meet a lot of people, right? And
I mean,
relationships, different things like that. You get to travel. Um,
to an extent, I'll
yeah,
say to an extent because what people fail to realize is like So the military is real little, right? It's really little, and it's in a sense, in like comparison to the world and to the amount of people in the world. The military is
Yeah.
like 1%, right? So, but inside of this 1%, you have like an extensive background of people, just of every type of ethnicity, of every type of background. You got people, and you know, you got a mix of people. You got, you know what I'm saying? You got good people, you got bad people, just like in the regular world.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's some of the realness about it too. And like I was saying, on art and when we were on the boxer
Yeah.
on the ship, we were AOs, so we got a certain type of real respect. You know what I mean? Not
Okay.
only not only were we like really respected because of what we did, but I think it was also like everything about us. We were very close knit. We all had a certain confidence about ourselves. You know what I'm saying? Like to be an AO, I would have to say is like really like being like, you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah, a
which is
part of
which
the
which
real gang.
exactly, which to me is kind of like which was to us was kind of like the beginning
Well,
of
like
the
you said, high
700.
school, it's kind of like
Yeah,
the guys that are in control. That when
exactly.
and obviously I was a giant brown noser, but I would get all my homework done, I'd get all the extra credit done, and then my math teacher would let me go to the weight room. And the weight room was like perpendicular to the math wing, and all the windows would be open, and I'd just, go in the weight room, I'd be done with all my homework, and just start blasting heavy metal music, pissing everybody else off because I could do it, right?
Yeah,
That it's like, if you persevere, you show your loyalty, you show your trust, you will be rewarded, and you will be given different privileges, based on that, right? And
yeah,
it
exactly.
probably goes for the military too, where, the people in the background are so important. And, I hear about a different country, like let's say Russia, 40 years ago or however many years ago, or different smaller countries that were on the brink or did collapse, right? That if
Yeah,
I was a intelligent minded um person, what would have I done? I would have went to that struggling country and said, "Hey man, I'm going to keep you in power, keep on failing, but in reality, like we're actually okay, but you're just kind of the front now. That I'm not going to remove you from this position, but, hey, you're struggling, I'm going to help you out, but let's still front as if you're struggling." Right?
yeah,
Because at the end of the day, everybody knows your public and your personal and all of those things. And I know we're obviously merging those two now, finding our total potential and you know in real life, because that's really what this podcast and what this studio is all about. It's the Truman Show live, right? Where we're kind of breaking through the fourth wall and we're looking through the matrix and going like, hey, we kind of caught, we kind of caught this what's the word, algorithm, right?
yeah,
And I think, you getting to actually witness that. My cousin, he's, also has a background as well, and he's leaving that, there's a lot of different what would I say? Experiences. So if you could share those, like briefly, I know you didn't mention what they actually cook. So could you do that real quick before I forget
yeah.
about? Yeah. So what would Go
So
Metro cook?
he didn't personally cook.
Oh
He
man.
was a dishwasher and he was a server. But
Yeah. What did
but
you guys eat? Yeah, that's what I want to know. What you guys actually
so
ate, not what we see on TV. What did you guys
so
actually eat?
shit. Like you said, like the initial question on a Thursday morning, I get up. I'm gonna probably go and see some rice from last week.
Oh wow.
Um, Probably some eggs, some bread up front that everybody touched. Uh, some
Oh,
bacon.
because you're not getting up at 4 a.m. What time are you getting up
Man,
at?
heck no. Me?
Yeah.
I'm getting up 10 minutes till I gotta be where I gotta be.
Yeah.
Cause
God bless
like,
it.
hey, God bless America. We need our sleep. You know what I'm saying?
So what
I
time
needed
is
my
that?
sleep
So what time were you waking up?
like 6:30.
Okay, so the eggs are cold. Everybody's touched the bread.
Everybody.
There's maybe not even any meat left. There's just
No,
rice. You know.
but because Go Metro,
Oh, so he would hook you up.
yeah, because Go Metro and one of my managers, Will, because both of them because both of them were servers and cooks, they would hold all the AOs, which is what we was.
Oh
They would
yeah.
hold all of us some good food, which would be like some French toast,
Yeah.
and then like I told you, some eggs,
Yeah.
boiled eggs and
Yeah.
shit like that. Yeah. So it
That's
was
great.
nothing. It was nothing.
Oh,
It was
so
nothing
you're
crazy.
so yeah, so it's like that's pretty interesting. So break down the AO.
So it's short for aviation ordnance, man.
Okay.
And ordnance is just like the bombs and the missiles and shit like that. That's what that is.
Oh.
So that's what we dealt with.
Oh. Yep.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
shit.
Tell me about. I
Yeah.
mean,
So
I don't know what kind of. What was your
I can't really go
inspiration
into.
getting into the military? Would you say?
For me personally, it was knowing that college wasn't gonna work out because my priorities was messed up.
Oh yeah.
Like I told you, I had some offers for wrestling,
Yeah.
but I couldn't take them because they weren't full ride. They weren't, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Nothing crazy. But my priorities, like I told you, was messed up. So I would have ended up, probably failing or something.
Yeah.
Back then at 18. At 18, yeah.
Well, I mean, look at my situation. I went to 3 years, got a 3.8 GPA, and I had about 3 accounting classes, and I split because it just kicked my butt. That
Yeah.
I didn't finish. That I only had like 3 classes to go, but the accounting just kicked my butt, and that I was waiting for it to go online, and thank God Cobra came, so now it's probably all online. But all the
Yes.
homework would be online, and I would get 100%. But then when it would come to the actual exams, they'd all be on paper, and it's like, oh, great,
See, me in school, I was opposite. Like in high school, like I had honors classes. I was an athlete, but I was also like, you know what I'm saying, like the weed head. I was the funny
Yeah,
guy. I
yeah.
was I was like all that shit too.
So that's what I'm saying.
But
Like the funny guy, how do you get along in the military? Like, because I'm just thinking about myself, right? Like, how would I get along in the military, right? That's like, I'm a giant bitch, right? Like, if I'm uncomfortable, I want to get myself out of that situation. You know what I'm saying? But I'm also a giant brown noser. Do they hate brown nosers? Like,
first of all, I don't even know what a brown noser
like
is. I
someone
don't
who
know.
like sucks up to people and just like
Oh
goes
yeah, no, you
goes
would have been
over and
good. Look,
beyond, like
see,
tries
look,
to do my
see, look.
best, like
You would have
show
been good.
off, try
You would have been
hard,
good, right?
what.
You would have been good in the military. You would have been good, but you wouldn't have been good with people. You would have been good for the military, but not good with people. Cause
Yeah.
like us personally, we weren't like no badass and the gangsters, none of that, none of that. You know what I'm saying? It's the military, but we were the ones that like we didn't really like want to take because the military was so childish and like high school, like I was telling you, it was kind of like people would be real disrespectful, not even on like a military basis, like kind of like on like a man-to-man basis. You know what I'm saying? And like, which is fine, but to a
Like
point, it
everybody's
gets
trying to intimidate each other rather than like being like
yeah,
brothers across the
yeah.
board.
And instead, they're not realizing like, bro,
Culture.
you put your pants on before your shirt today, didn't you, or something? You know what I'm saying? You got dressed probably the same way I got dressed. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah. No, and my
shit like
cousin
that.
was
But
talking about how, because he said, I don't know if people are making fun of his name, that like his last name wasn't very known or something. I'm like, well, why would you even? It's like, what does that have? Like, and that's like he's having, and I don't want to go too much into detail, but similarly to what you just said, like bullying him, basically that he doesn't have a name or something, you know?
I mean, yeah, I mean, it can happen. I don't know.
Yeah,
Honestly, I don't know that side of it because, like,
you're
coming
not a
in,
bitch.
yeah, I guess you could say like,
Yeah.
like a funny story. Off topic, me and Metro, a
No,
funny
exactly. So
story.
yeah. So all I want to so exactly. Let's get into it.
So in the military, like you can get like kind of like what they would say like to be like locked up. I guess like you gotta like it's called restriction, where you get all your rights taken. You can't go nowhere. You gotta stay in this little ass room. It's like a little like probably like I probably said like 20 or nah, probably not 20. Probably like it's literally a little room, bro. It's like size of a closet, and it got like 6 bunks in it, and it's just
Musty.
15.
Yeah.
Yeah, just one toilet, two toilets, two showers, but it's like 20 dudes in there.
Yeah.
Y'all can't go, so it's called restriction, right? And that's what we was on. Me and Metro,
Oh wow.
we both got put on restriction for
Oh, you
some
guys are
bullshit.
bad boys.
So we was stuck. We was locked up in the military. And but the thing is, like in the military, they don't give a fuck. Like they don't feed you. Like their responsibility, they not to feed you. You feel me? You got to go to these things called muster like 4 or 5 times a day. You just got to go post up, stand up there in this shit called attention for 30 fucking minutes doing nothing, while some dude is just staring at you. You feel me?
Yeah.
Like you can't talk to nobody. You can't. You got to move with just the restriction group. Y'all
Oh.
gotta fucking go clean the dirtiest part of the fucking ship. You gotta goddamn, you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
some just bullshit and like, you know what I'm saying? Like motherfuckers make you go scrub toilets with your hands and shit, like brushes. You know what I'm saying? Like just bullshit. People talk shit to you, and it's just, you know what I'm saying? Like you can't see your family, you can't go home, ain't none
And
of that.
what are
None of
things
that.
that people could have done to be put into what is it called? Lockdown?
Restriction,
Restriction.
restrictions. Shit, a plethora of shit. You can be goddamn fighting, you can
Oh
get
yeah.
caught, you can goddamn smoke weed, you can goddamn
So how are you
everything,
getting
bro.
different illicit vices out on the seven seas or out on in
Well, we
military?
see this thing. We got to put on restriction when we was back.
Oh, okay.
We was, you know what I'm saying? We was in America. We was going home every day. Everybody was, it was
Oh
normal
really?
life.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, but we got locked. You know what I'm saying? So we had to stay on this little ass boat
Does that
in
sound
this
like a
little
movie,
ass,
like a buddy comedy or something?
man. It was terrible, bro. It was fuck. So like, think of it like this. Think of it like you take like a sauna room. Think of a sauna room, like a decent sized sauna room, and you put 14 3 bunk, you know what I'm saying, shits all inside this
Yeah.
little ass room. And then you have 2 toilets and 2 showers. And it's cold as fuck. And you can't go nowhere. You can't talk to nobody. I couldn't call my fan. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Like
Yeah. It's hard.
bullshit like that. I had just had my son. Couldn't see him for 2 months. Feel me? 2 months. As soon as he was born, I couldn't see him. Because I had to stay, you know, on some bullshit. So that's the bullshit. You know what I'm saying? That's like getting locked up, I guess. And they
Yeah.
don't
So it's like,
feed
what
you.
would have you rather done? Like, stayed at home and then got locked up, or go the military route and then got locked up? That what do you think
Not get locked
was
up
it
at all.
safe? Well, of course, but like, was it? Did you feel like I don't know, man. I don't know where to go. I don't know what to say. Like, I don't have any
Look,
experience in
I'm gonna
this.
say it
You know what
like
I'm
this.
saying?
I'm gonna say it like this. Motherfuckers up in there
Yeah,
goddamn gambling. We be up in that bitch
gambling.
gambling.
That's what I'm
Look, cause
saying.
we
Let's
ain't got
hear the
money.
stories, right?
Cause look, right, so we ain't got money. We don't got money, right? And Metro was buzzing. Metro was motherfucking boss at that shit. That's why I really started fucking with him. Well, I started fucking before that, but and there too, like so because nobody got money, you
Yeah,
can't get money and shit. So we would play like poker and shit and like goddamn
to earn
card
money. Yeah,
spades. Yeah, and so you gotta keep the tokens to keep the other little shit that we call the tokens.
yeah.
You gotta keep until you get off restriction. And then you gotta go get your real money from the person that you got your money from.
Oh
So
wow.
Metro goddamn, he started off with no money and came out that bitch like $200 up, like off just bullshit. Bullshit for gambling and shit. And goddamn, motherfuckers be up in there, goddamn, you know what I'm saying? Like all that little bullshit, like just bullshit ass shit. You feel me? Like just like jail, like really,
No,
like
it sounds like
from
a
what my
scene. It
sisters,
sounds like a scene to a
from what my
movie
sisters and shit
where
tell
it's
me,
just
cause
kind
my
of
sisters and
like,
shit all
the
fucking
shit that they
get locked up.
do, you know.
Yeah, I'm telling you that shit it was just weird, bro. It was really weird shit. Niggas getting beat up.
Well,
You know
because
what I'm
think
saying?
about it.
Like,
The room's pretty small. We could build that
bro,
set. We could
little,
build that set.
little. I'm talking about little, bro.
Yeah, we could
And I'm
build
talking
that
about,
set.
and it was real deal, like a hierarchy. Like motherfuckers
Yeah.
coming up. All right, who's been in this bitch the longest? I've been in this bitch 60. I've been in this bitch 50 days.
No
All right, so
way.
that's top dog.
Oh
And
my
that nigga
god.
ain't taking shit. No, y'all motherfuckers, y'all shut the fuck up when I say shut the fuck up. Y'all niggas don't take a shower when I'm taking a shower. Motherfucker, if I say no card games, nigga ain't no card games. You know what I'm saying? Shit like that. So that's how the shit went. And it came a point to where I was like, you know what I'm saying? I was the motherfucker that was in that bitch like, yo, none of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to hear none of that shit. Like, and then we had some little like bitch ass nigga in there. And one of the little homies, one of the little bros, he ended up putting it, we ended up cause he had did some dumbass shit, right? He had took like some like powder shit. I don't remember what the fuck it was. And he threw it. He threw this shit inside of a room where the police are. He threw this powder in a little baggie underneath the door into the room where all the police are. All the
Like
military
on the ship?
police on this little ass shit. So these motherfuckers find it, bro, right? So they come hem everybody up. Yo, everybody, blah, blah, blah. What the fuck is this? Blah, 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 blah. They say, oh yeah, we tested it. It came back 99% coke. First of all, how the fuck is it 99% coke when can't nobody go nowhere? Ain't no way to get no coke. You feel me? So bullshit. Fast forward the next night after all that shit, one of the little homies put his hands on him, beat him, start smashing his head against the toilet and shit, beat him,
Man.
sent him out. Bow, he's out of there. So me and Metro, you know what I'm saying, after being in shit for like 50 days with the same niggas, little ass room, musty ass niggas, you know what I'm saying? One day I'm taking a shower.
Yeah, I don't know, man. This is wild.
You see what I'm saying? I'm taking a shower, right? I'm
Yeah.
taking a shower, and this nigga Metro, he has this big ass metal broom. I'm talking about a metal, and the water is cold, bro. And it's these little steel, it's like a little steel box that's like a shower with a curtain.
Yeah.
So this man Metro takes this big ass metal broom and starts like hitting me on the back through the curtain
Oh my
with this
god.
metal broom, bro. So I'm like, bro, like, can you chill? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yo, my nigga is cold. I'm about to get out of the shower. My nigga, chill out. You feel me? So he keeps beating me with this broom. So then finally, I'm like, bro, I swear to God on my son, bro, if I get out this shower, my nigga, I'm gonna beat the shit out you. And give him Metro. He's like 6. He's like 6'2". You know what I'm saying? So he's taller than me.
Yeah, I'm
But
6'2".
whatever. Yeah. So I get out and I wrap my towel up and I just rush up on him, start hitting him, beep beep beep, start punching him. So I'm punching him. I'm punching
Metro?
him,
You're
punching him.
fighting Metro now?
Yeah, bro, because he was playing. He kept playing too much. So I started punching him. And him being bigger than me, he has these big ass military boots on.
Oh
He just
wow.
starts kicking me.
Oh no way.
Starts kicking me in my shit, in my chest and shit.
Oh
Right?
no.
So all the homies come in, they start breaking it up and shit. Bullshit. So in the midst of all that, to say I had did a little show. I had did a show
Yeah,
with
so
designer.
we covered a lot at the military, but that was the biggest thing that Go Metro wanted me to talk to you about. That wild story. Now, moving on from the military, I would definitely like you to talk about the music side as well. So, what initially inspired you to get into music?
To be honest, bro, I had so my dad's from Trinidad, and then but he was raised in Trinidad, but then he got moved with his grandmother to Brooklyn, to Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn. And then my biological mother, she's from Bronx. So right there, you already have a whole different type of mix of music.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You got my
Wow.
mom who's straight from New York. That's it. All she knows is, you know what I'm saying? Goddamn everything she listened to, from Luther Vandross, Aretha Franklin, Lauryn Hill, Nelly Furtado,
Yeah.
to, you know what I'm saying, to Andre 3000, things like that. But then my dad, he was more Biggie. Biggie was Biggie was Bible in the house. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Biggie, Jay-Z,
Yeah, man, I
that's
gotta
Bible.
listen to the 12 crack commandments like every week and a half just
Bro,
to like remind
listen,
myself, you know.
listen,
Cuz
my
like for
dad,
example, like my cousin that I mentioned, he's helping me design some animation for a stage that I'm designing, right?
yeah,
And you know, he was talking about leaving the military. And I'm like, "Hey, bro, like, you know, I'm going to help you start your own business, but, you know, I can't you know, you can't totally depend on me. You know, cuz
yeah,
Biggie told me, you know, you shouldn't do business with your family and your mom will even stick you up, you know, if she has the right opportunity. You know, so it's
off
like,
that Chris
you know,
ass.
you got to listen. I mean, that needs to be, you know, there needs to be the church of Biggie. I
That
mean,
needs to be a
that's right
plaque
there.
in everybody's house when
Yeah.
you walk in. But yeah, so my dad, and then my dad also listened to soca, which is you know what I'm saying, which is the Trinidadian, you know, the Caribbean music.
Yeah, that's
Um,
cool.
but so then me, I come along. My dad moves to Miami with his high school sweetheart, my stepmom,
Yeah.
who's Puerto Rican, straight from goddamn Lil Haiti, Miami. You know what I'm saying? This is the 80s, 90s. So
Yeah.
she's like one of the only light-skinned people. She went to the school called Edison High School.
Yeah.
Shout out to Lil Haiti for sure. Shout out to the whole Miami first of all.
Oh yeah.
For sure.
I'm going to be
That's
down
that's
there
really
soon that I've got a lot of different
that's
people
that's
in
really home.
my
That's really home. It's on
yeah,
skin.
like ViewStub, the virtual pay-per-view company that I'm working with, and Hempire, they're both down in Miami, so
Yeah.
we'll definitely make that connection.
Yeah.
So who
So
is your team? Talk a little bit about that. Like obviously Good Metro is a military friend, but talk a little bit about the 700. Talk about, you know, the people around you that have helped you be successful. Talk a little bit about that.
so so the 700 it started with me,
Yep.
my boy, my brother EBC Honcho, my brother Hot Bricks.
Yep.
Shout out to my boy Hot Bricks.
Oh,
Um, and one of the other niggas, but we fell out, so it's not
yeah.
even worth mentioning him. But somebody else.
Now, do you have
Um,
split sheets like copyright, trademark, ASCAP, BMI, or like
yeah,
what's the
we got BMI. We have our own shit. Like we got our shit. Look, our shit's really official. Like
all
if you
right, all
stream our
right,
shit, it's money is coming back. Like
good,
we
good,
got money right sitting inside TuneCore. I think inside TuneCore, just money sitting and money just
yeah,
keeps coming.
great.
Now I'm getting revenue from fucking TikTok.
There you go.
You know what I'm saying so.
Well, and that's what
But
I was
yeah,
saying that, you know, I'm going to be shooting a lot of different vlogs. So talk, you
yeah.
know, who are the producers in that team? Do you have any videographers, editors, you know, graphic
So
designers? Like, who are the behind the
yeah,
scenes
so
people too?
so like I said, my manager is Big Tuck. That's like my main manager. You got Will, then you have our DJ Nah,
Okay.
and then we have producers on Go Metro side, who's shout out Guap
Go up.
and shout out Valentine, shout out both of them big time. I was working with a producer named 808 Shawty on one of my bigger songs. Yeah, so no, shout out William Zillion. That's a big part of it. He was a big start of it too. Big producer. He actually produced like half of my first project of Daily Imaginations.
Yeah, so
He
talk about
produced like,
that. Talk about, you know, the present day, last project, future project. Talk a little bit about that.
so like starting off in 2015, I think it was, we started recording just off a MacBook in a room, MacBook, Logic, a mic, and a little interface, a little Focusrite interface, and we was going crazy. Like I told you, we recorded half my first project. We hold on.
You're good. Well, I want to ask everybody, if you haven't, please subscribe, and you can find all of our links down in the description as well.
Yeah, my fault.
You're good. You're
So
good.
what was I
Yeah,
saying?
your music that you started in
Oh yeah, yeah.
2015. You started
So
recording on a Focusrite and a
yeah, man.
mic.
So started recording it like I told you, and then we finally found like our first, like what I would say, like what I would call like a home. Like we call any studio that we really feel like a good presence, good energy, and we call it our home. So our first one was in Studio City Sound with Tom Weir, and our main engineer Jeff in Studio City Sound LA. And there we recorded like a couple more tracks. Um, like I said, I put together the first mixtape in like 2016, 2017 called Daily Imaginations. And that one I had no big features. It was just the gang. You know what I'm saying? The people I told you, EBC, Hot Bricks. Um, and that one I put it out under DJ Cinemax and his label, the Wave something. I forgot the name of that shit. Cause I like it wasn't something I signed. I ain't never signed no paperwork and that. He just put me under that. Wave Lords was the name of it. Shout out to DJ Cinemax. But and that one, like I told you, he put it out under him and it did like some decent numbers, you know what I'm saying, for like an initial project and shit.
Yeah.
And then I started working on my next project. But in between that time, I had did a show off my first project. I did a show in Hawaii. And I did a show with designer, Ski Mask, and who was it? Designer, Ski Mask, and Rob Stone. There you go. Shout out Rob
Nice.
Stone.
Oh, Rob Stone's the beat guy, right? Is that or
It
I'm trying to Robert
he had he had some songs, man. Hey, look, shout out Rob Stone because people say he only had that one song, which was like that
I'm
Rob
trying to
Stone,
think.
Two Damn Phones. People thought that was his only song, but he had like three or like
Yeah, I
a
don't know.
few, man.
I'm thinking of the one that did I don't know if it's Kiki or something. I don't know what his name
No,
is.
no, that's not
But
Rob Stone, man. Don't put that
I
on
don't know
Rob,
who
man.
that is,
Hey, don't
but
put that on my brother Rob, man.
I don't know
But yeah,
who I'm
so
thinking
boom.
about. That and to tell you a little bit about my background too, because we haven't really even had our uh pre-interview chat. That Donnie
Yeah,
just came
yeah,
out onto the chat, and I said, "Hey, let's make it happen."
yeah,
To tell you a little bit about my background too. That's a part of the podcast. I'm not the music guy, right? That I'm coming from a marketing class where I met my partner that I worked with for the past 4 years on college beats, and
yeah,
this career chose me. I didn't really, if I would have met someone in college and his daddy would have been selling vacuum cleaners, guess what I would have been doing for the last 4 years? Selling vacuum cleaners. Like, I'm a total jack of all trades, interested in
not selling,
everything.
not selling vacuum cleaners. You would have been owning some
Oh
vacuum
yeah. Oh
cleaners,
sure,
having
sure.
people sell them
No,
for you. That's
absolutely,
how we seen
absolutely,
it.
exactly. Like I'm just saying from an analogy standpoint that
Yeah, yeah,
I'm
yeah,
down
yeah.
for anything. I don't put any
Metaphorically,
limits
yeah.
on myself. I'm a jack of all trades, but a master in none other than folk dancing, polka and waltz. That I was a dancer my entire life since I was 4. Also had a computer since I was 4 years old as well. But my mom dances, my dad dances, my grandma danced. She came from Romania. My grandfather, my opa, came from Hungary. So I have a lot of culture in my life. I had a previous podcast with Krista, and she was giving me a lot of credit. Coming from the Midwest, and I really couldn't say that because all of my family and friends are from all over the world. And
Yeah,
so, when I would go to these family events, 300 members per club, 16 clubs in the United States. I mean, we have 4,000 people parties once or twice a year.
yeah,
So I got that culture that a lot of people in the Midwest don't get. And so I was on tour in Europe for a month in 2013 with 40 other couples touring around our different clubhouses in Europe. So I obviously have the volunteer professional in a sense, but it was obviously to just, develop our culture, make our family happy. And so we have 16 properties and we're German. So we've got soccer fields. So what can we do? mini soccer field tour where if we've got 2 or 3 soccer fields, we can just throw up a stage and go to it,
Yeah.
right? And we are
Oh, that's
already
tight.
having
Hey, that's
Oktoberfest.
gangster.
What's up?
I said that's gangster.
Yeah, so that's the idea that we brought to Post Malone, that we were gonna have a tour, uh, and we worked out a pretty good deal, but that was just one of the things that happened to go awry with College Beats, and no, now I happen to be independent, so we're all good now. But yeah, so I took that and went all the way from zero to Post Malone within 1 year. We had a great meeting with him. Then beyond that, we started working with 101.1 The Wiz, which is a local. I'm from the east side of town. The only hip hop we had was 101.1 The Wiz. And I
Yeah.
literally dreamed of what the inside of The Wiz looked like, right? And down to the back fabric wall, right? So I went from dreaming of what the inside of The Wiz looked like to working there for 30 weeks, right? And so big shout out to DJ Jado over there. In addition to wanting to go beyond that, and we did a DJ feature where we featured 10 DJs as well. And now, moving on from DJs, that my partner decided to not include me in the DJ business, right? After I did all
Yeah.
of the groundwork. And so after he decided to break the contract, I have become independent in 2020. So
Yeah.
that's where you get me here developing this podcast, talking to different folks like you, where, different joint ventures, different, just being able to have people to be your advisor or consultant, but without it being forced. That I
Yeah.
think everybody comes from different backgrounds. And like you said, similarly to the military, like the best, most fulfilled life that you can have is being around the more different and unique people possible. I'm looking at, and you probably have different experiences with different countries, but that Facebook will like preload a phone with Facebook and then we'll give them out for free, right? And then anything else on the phone, then it becomes paid, right? And that,
Yeah.
different, visions like that. But yeah, so that's kind of my background. That, like, as far as music goes, I like promoting people, that it's, about helping different artists have different media experiences. So have you had different experiences before being interviewed or being on a podcast that or having different write-ups about you? So talk a little bit about that. Like, what sort of media experience have you had?
Um, I had two. I had like I told you I had like a write up on hip hop survival
Yeah.
and hip hop XD. I want to say
Yeah.
was the name. It was two of them. Um, no real like you know what I'm saying, like no real big interviews, nothing like that, nothing
Yeah.
crazy.
And that's
Cause
why I'm trying to do this, where it's just kind of like I'm not that big, and that I just like to be able to get people to have this experience. So then when that
yeah,
opportunity does come up, there's a little bit of the experience.
exactly,
And
exactly. Building
yeah,
that portfolio.
yeah, absolutely. Um,
Yeah. So, but like I said,
Yeah, so do you
one
have any
thing.
questions for me? Like, is there anything
Yeah,
that you wanted to know about me? Like, I know we
that's what I was
didn't
going.
get to have that pre-interview chat, which I like to build that organic, question base, but this is also nice because it's a spur of the moment. We don't have to deal with scheduling.
No, hey, hold on. I'm gonna get some wine right quick or some more weed. I'll
Okay,
be right
okay.
back. Hold on.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
We drink wine around here.
Nice. All right, guys. Please stand by. I think I can even. All right, I'm not even going to cancel it.
Hey man, shout out to the Total Potential Podcast. For real. Y'all make sure y'all subscribe. And shout out to Apothic. I don't know if y'all know this, but all I drink is Apothic Rosé. It's the best. It is aged at least 3 years. You know what I'm saying? They use the finest berries. I must say, this is one of the best products out there on the market. I have an entire collection of empty bottles that I've been drinking for the past couple months. Man, this shit is delicious. Shout out to Pocket, man.
Yeah, bro, just start talking your shit. Just plug yourself. Where can people find you?
But yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like you said, Instagram, Donny700S. All my music is on every platform that you could probably think of. It's under probably my last name, which my last, like, you know what I'm saying, before I changed it. It was Donny Yaz, DonnyYaz. But now everything else should be under ST7 Donny. You know what I'm saying? And if y'all have not, go get that Balenciaga Head Boy right now. Go stream that right now. And go stream Lost and Found. That's my last project. But big shit coming very soon. We dropping 3 projects. We dropping 3 projects in the last month of this year, y'all. I promise. 3 projects.
Okay, so you were talking about 3 projects this year.
3 projects. I'm about to drop 3 cause like I told you, me and music, bro, I love doing music, but I be real inconsistent. That's why I've only put out 2. In the past 4 years I've been doing this shit, I've put out 2 projects, 1 video. You know what I'm saying? Like, just because like I had started to lose interest in this shit because I at one point it was going crazy when I was telling you I was doing shows, getting write-ups and shit. Me and Rich the Kid was talking a little bit back in like 2016, back when he had first left the Black Nego group.
Yeah.
He had just started doing his own shit. And then all of a sudden everything stopped for a little bit. So I had kind of lost interest, and then, you know what I'm saying? So, but last year I dropped Balenciaga Head Boy. This year I dropped, I don't remember. You know what I'm saying? I dropped some shit.
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
go
yeah.
check it out. ST7 Donny.
So before we took the little intermission there, what questions do you have for me? Like, now that you've heard a little bit more about your background, I'm not sure how much you've learned from the different podcasts that, did you listen to Go Metro's podcast or
Yeah,
like
I loved it.
So did you have any questions for me?
So my thing is like, what, why not do this podcast about something? Like, why didn't you do a Total Potential podcast, like in reference to like something different? What made you want to do the music instead of doing like maybe like daily events? You know what I'm saying? Like
Sure.
something like that.
Well, like I said previously, working with College Beats over the past 4 years, primarily the people that I had been working with were folks in the hip hop industry. So that has just kind of been the people that I feel comfortable with, right? And
Yeah,
that I like putting people on that I like and that I think other people would like. And Sun Wu asked me the same question, like, hey, Tony, it really seems like you're all over the place, right? My uncle will tell me, oh, well, Tony, you're scatterbrained. But then Sun Wu also said, well, Tony, another side of it is if you have somebody on, you must be interested in them. And if you're interested in them, your audience is going to be interested in them because you're interested in them. And that
yeah,
you wouldn't have somebody on that you're not interested in, right?
yeah.
So
But what
that's
do you
my
first?
content. That Total Potential is Tony Prugel. Like, let's just expose it right here. TP is me, right? That logo was
Shout
from
out
my
Tony. Shout
detailing
out
business,
Anthony.
right? Like, let's
What do you
let's
go? You go by
let's
Anthony or do you go by
well,
Tony?
not well now recently, but give me a second. Let me expose myself here real quick. Okay. All right. So do you see this? Bro, did I lose you? The truth comes out. Um, I guess I'm waiting for him to get ready here. I'll just put this down over here.
Oh, my fault, bro. I had
No,
some
you're good.
technical difficulties.
No, you're good. All right. So do you see this?
Yeah.
So this is my auto detailing business.
What's that?
So when I was 15 years old, I wanted to save enough money up to buy a car, so I started a business. And
Ooh.
so I had that designed by someone from my German club, Lisa Bombach, and I love the logo. So one a big part about my life as a perfectionist is you're never going to be perfect, and that you constantly want to be growing at the very least 1% every day, right? And that
Very
the
true.
meaning of life is to reach your total potential. Because when I would detail people's cars, guess what? If you had a 13-year-old car and you've never gotten it detailed, I can only help it reach its total potential, right? That, if you've
Yeah.
got a new car, yeah, it's going to be a real easy job. But I'm sorry, you could pay me thousands of dollars. I can't perform time travel on your car, right? So that was where the whole branding behind Total Potential came from, was from the aspect of, you know, trying to reach perfection in a sense, but what is one step behind perfection? Because I couldn't say total perfection, because then I would be setting too high of a standard for myself. So I decided on total potential because I'm limited by the potential of not only cars, but also, to be honest, individuals, right? And that,
Yeah.
I'm trying to help people reach their total potential. And that's really the whole
Right.
purpose of this entire show, is for me to, people that are willing, right? Because when I was in high school, I'd used to get upset with people because I'd be thinking to myself, oh, well, I just got to tell these kids to grow up. But in
Yeah.
reality, a lot of people haven't gone through the same life experiences that you have. That, at 10 years old, I was visiting, Europe, or, visiting cities across the United States, performing on stage, interacting with the public. And I think, similarly to what Krista said in the previous podcast, folks in the Midwest, may not have those same opportunities that my
Yeah.
neighbors, just a few 4 or 5 years ago, and they still have it, a wood burning furnace, right? That these folks, coming from the country, it's a different kind of struggle where, with me growing up, that's why I had back trouble. That, you know, I was trying to help out my neighbor, cut wood, but in reality, I was picking up with my back instead of my legs, right? So you
Yeah.
got to think about it. A lot of people, not I don't want to say a lot of people, but there are a group of people that are surviving by cutting their own wood, and it's destroying their back. Like, let's say they go into construction work, then they get hooked on pain medicine, and then they lose their job because of their back, and then they have to go over to other, harder things, and then ultimately, what does that end them up with? So I'm very lucky that, my opa and my oma put me in this situation, and that I feel that I have to pay it forward, and that I used to think that I needed to make as much money as possible in order to become a philanthropist. And I learned that through college, that actually through philanthropy, I could meet a lot of people. And that,
Yeah.
if I can get with a groove of other like minded people that want to help people, and I think good karma is another big part of it, that, you know, developing goodwill. I don't want to say not asking for anything, but it's kind of like, uh, do it because you want to do it, not because you want the result of doing what you're expected to do, right? That I
Not because you want the recognition. Do it
Exactly.
because it's, you know what I'm saying, because it's good to do it.
Exactly. And whether or not it's a gift or anything like that, if you don't love somebody, don't give them fake, love. That fake love is worse than no love, to be completely honest.
Fake love is worse than hate.
Yeah. That your worst enemy is in your backyard, and I
Yeah.
think that in our current world, I really wish, oh, Grant Ferguson's joining. Let's bring him on. uh
Shout
He's
out
in the green
Grant.
room. Let's see how I want to add him here. How's it going, sir?
Yo, what up? I can hear you now.
Great, great. Well,
How's
welcome
it
to the
going? What's
podcast.
cracking?
What up?
Yeah, I interviewed Go Metro, which was one of Donny's friends, and while I was waiting for you, Donny commented on YouTube. So I just went ahead and sent him the Ecamm link, and he jumped on. So we're just going to be, finishing up his podcast and getting on to the next. So definitely stay tuned for more content from Donny. Where can everybody find you again?
Everybody can find me Donny700S at Instagram. On Instagram, Donny700S on Twitter, I think too. But just Instagram for sure, because that's the only real place that I really use right now.
Nice.
All
Nice.
my music is on every platform under Donny Yaz, which is my old alias, or ST7 Donny,
Great.
which is what I go formally by now. ST7
All right,
Donny.
man. Well, we'll definitely have to
ST7.
chop it up soon, man.
Yeah. Hey, thank you for the opportunity, man.
Absolutely, sir.
Y'all stay up.
Yep. All right. Let me